Three people wanted the promotion. Only one of them was going to get it. And by the end of the month, half the office wasn't speaking. The HR manager was contemplating a career change to sheep farming, and the breakroom microwave had become a strategic military asset. Wow. Hi, I'm Kalen, and this is Kalen After Midnight, where we talk about strange things people do when ambition and bad coffee collide. Welcome back. Today we're talking about the promotion. You know the vibe. That specific type of corporate hunger that turns perfectly normal people into Machiavellian villains. We're going to look at how a mid-level senior project coordinator role, a job that basically involves color-coding spreadsheets and attending meetings about other meetings, shattered a 5-year office culture in exactly 21 business days. Before we dive into the trenches, make sure you've subscribed, because unlike the characters in this story, I actually want you to succeed. Now, imagine this office. It's beige. It's quiet. For 5 years, the biggest drama was when someone used the last of the almond milk and didn't replace it. Then, at 9:02 a.m. on a Tuesday, an email went out from the director, Mr. Henderson. The senior project coordinator role was officially open. In that moment, the social contract was shredded, the masks came off, and the war began. To understand the war, you have to understand the generals. This wasn't just a competition. It was a clash of 3 distinct species of corporate animal. First, we had Sarah. She was the work mom. Sarah had been there 7 years. She was the human equivalent of a warm hug that's held just a few seconds too long. She knew where the extra toner was hidden. She remembered people's birthdays. Sarah didn't just want the promotion. She assumed it was her loyalty reward. She'd tell anyone who listened, "I've seen this company through 3 CEOs and a flood in the basement. I've earned my stripes." The Sarah method. Her power wasn't in her resume. It was in her database of secrets. She knew who was cheating on their diet, who was looking for a new job, and exactly which brand of tea the director liked. She wasn't aggressive. She was expectant. And as we're about to see, an expectant person who feels ignored is the most dangerous person in the building. Then there was Marcus, the disruptor. Marcus had been there for 8 months, but he talked like he founded the company in a garage with Steve Jobs. He wore quilted vests even when it was 80 degrees inside. Marcus didn't want the job because he liked the work. He wanted the title so he could finally stop CCing his boss on emails. The Marcus method. He was the king of the buzzword buffet. He'd walk past your desk and say things like, "We need to socialize the synergy on this project," while holding a $7 espresso he definitely didn't pay for. He spent more time updating his LinkedIn featured section than he did on his actual deliverables. To Marcus, the office wasn't a workplace, it was a stage, and he was the lead actor in a movie that no one else wanted to watch. Finally, we had Elena. She was the quiet overachiever. Elena was the engine. She did 60% of the actual labor in the department, while Sarah was organizing birthday cakes and Marcus was networking at the espresso machine. The Elena method. Elena wanted the promotion because, quite frankly, she was just tired of fixing Sarah's Excel formulas and Marcus's typos. She was the person everyone went to when things actually needed to get done. She didn't have a quilted vest or a work mom persona. She had a dual monitor setup, a mechanical keyboard that sounded like a machine gun, and a deep, burning desire for everyone to just do their jobs. Week 1 was the kindness overload. But under the surface, the office was being carved into territories. Sarah realized she had competition and went into overdrive. Suddenly, the break room wasn't just a place for stale coffee. There were homemade lemon bars every single day. But here's the thing about promotion lemon bars. They taste like desperation. Sarah would hand them out individually, leaning over people's cubicles and whispering, "I just feel like we need to keep the team spirit high during these competitive times. Oh, did you see Marcus's last memo? So ambitious. It's cute how hard he's trying to sound like a VP, isn't it?" She wasn't just feeding people, she was recruiting. If you took a lemon bar, you were essentially signing a non-aggression pact. The accountants and the HR assistants were the core base. They liked her snacks. They liked her vibe. The Marcus fraction, which was actually kind of the vest crew. Marcus took a different route, the calendar siege. He began booking synergy syncs with the director, Mr. Henderson. He wasn't talking about work. He was just there, existing very loudly. He'd stand in the doorway of the director's office, leaning against the frame like he was in a cologne ad, saying, "Hey, boss, just wanted to loop you in on my 360-degree vision for the department's scalability. We need to leverage our human capital." Marcus recruited the junior sales guys, the ones who also wore vests and thought hustle culture was a personality trait. They'd congregate around the espresso machine like a pack of well-groomed wolves, talking about vertical integration and disputing the space. Then there was the Elena faction, the silent resistance. Elena didn't recruit. She just documented. She started a private Slack channel with the IT guys and the data analysts. They weren't interested in lemon bars or vests. They were interested in the fact that Marcus didn't know how to PDF a document, and Sarah's spreadsheets were held together by prayer and manual entry. If week 1 was a Cold War, week 2 was the Battle of the Somme. And the catalyst? A plate of leftover seafood paella. Let me set the scene for you. It's Tuesday, 12:15 p.m. The office is quiet. Marcus, in an attempt to show how busy and dedicated he was, decided to eat at his desk. He wanted everyone to see him grinding through lunch. He brought leftover seafood paella, shrimp, mussels, squid, the whole ocean. Now, we all know the golden rule of the office. Never microwave fish. It's the 11th commandment. But Marcus didn't just microwave it, he burnt it. The smell didn't just drift, it attacked. It hit Sarah's desk first. Sarah, the work mom, snapped. She didn't yell. That would be too simple. Instead, she went to the supply closet, grabbed the heavy-duty laminator, and printed out a 12-page kitchen etiquette manual. She taped it to the microwave. She taped it to the fridge. She taped a copy to Marcus's monitor. Marcus didn't apologize. He walked over to Sarah's desk, leaned in, and said, "Sarah, I think we need to talk about your hostile signage. It's creating a non-inclusive environment for my Mediterranean-inspired lifestyle. I'm just trying to fuel my high-level output. Maybe if you focused less on the microwave and more on the Q4 projections, we'd all be in a better place." Sarah's face went the color of a ripe tomato. She replied, "Marcus, dear, if your output was half as strong as that shrimp smell, you'd be the CEO by now. But until then, keep your bottom feeders out of our communal space." The entire office went silent. You could hear the hum of the server room. The truce was officially dead. This brings us to Gary from HR. Gary is a man who looks like he's been through a car wash but forgot to get out of the car and close the windows. His job is conflict resolution, but his actual job is professional fire extinguisher. I managed to get a look at the actual HR log that Gary was keeping during the week of the microwave. If you ever feel like your job is hard, listen to what this man had to deal with. 9:14 a.m., Monday. Sarah reports that Marcus looked at her aggressively while she was refilling the decaf. Marcus claims he was just mentally visualizing his KPIs. 2 p.m. Tuesday. The seafood incident. Sarah filed a formal request for a hazmat inspection of the breakroom. Mark filed a counter-complaint alleging culinary discrimination. Wednesday, 11 a.m. Elena requested a noise-canceling headset. When Gary asked her why, she simply pointed at Sarah and Marcus, who were currently arguing in the hallway over whether reply all is a tool of communication or a weapon of war. Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Sarah reports that a lemon bar went missing from her desk. She demands a full review of the security footage. Marcus is the primary suspect. Friday, 4:55 p.m. Gary entered a note in his own file. Looked into the cost of sheep farming equipment in New Zealand. Is it possible to file for a workers' comp for soul fatigue? Note, if I see one more lemon bar, I'm going to scream. The third week was interview week. This was the final showdown. Marcus went in first. He wore a suit so sharp he could have performed surgery with its lapels. He spent 45 minutes explaining his 360-degree vision. Mr. Henderson, the director, asked exactly one question. Marcus, do you know how to use the pivot table feature in Excel? Marcus paused. He looked at Henderson dead in the eye, leaned back and said, I believe in delegating technical micro tasks so that I can focus on the macro narrative and the vertical integration of our brand identity. Translation, he had no idea what a pivot table was. He was trying to vibe his way into a six-figure salary. Sarah went in next. She didn't bring a portfolio. She brought the legacy. She spent her interview talking about the family vibe that she'd built. She reminded Henderson that she was the one who organized his 50th birthday party. She hinted very broadly that if she didn't get the promotion, the spirit of the office would suffer. It was a hostage situation wrapped in a cardigan. She was betting everything on Henderson being too afraid of a bad vibe to say no. Then Elena walked in. She didn't even sit down at first. She handed Henderson a tablet with a dashboard she'd built over the weekend. It automated 30% of their manual reporting. She looked at Henderson and said, "I don't care about the macro narrative, and I'm allergic to lemon bars. We are losing $5,000 a month because our current coordination system is based on Post-it notes and Sarah's memory. This dashboard fixes that. I don't want to be the heart of the office. I want to be the person who makes sure we still have an office in 2 years." Friday morning, 10:01 a.m., the announcement email hit. The new project manager was Elena. The reaction was a masterclass in awkwardness. Sarah locked herself in the supply closet for 20 minutes. When she came out, she took the remaining lemon bars and dumped them, tray and all, into the trash. Marcus didn't say a word. He spent the rest of the day looking at executive recruiter profiles on LinkedIn with his monitor angled so that everyone could see it. He posted a 2,000-word manifesto about knowing your worth and escaping toxic leadership. He quit within 72 hours. He's currently a life coach for people who want to learn how to wear vests in the summer. The new era. Elena's first move as boss. She banned fish in the microwave, not by memo, but by physically removing the microwave and replacing it with a high-end toaster. Sarah stayed, but she became a ghost, a quiet quitter before the team even existed. She still does her job, but she stopped bringing in cakes. Now she only gives snacks to the people who were on her side during the Great Fish War. And Gary finally quit. He didn't go to New Zealand, but he did move to a small town where the only conflict resolution that he has to do is deciding what tractor to buy. So what's the lesson here? Ambition is a hell of a drug, but at the end of the day, the person who actually knows how to use Excel usually wins. The office is quiet now. It's professional. It's efficient. But if you walk past the break room on a Tuesday afternoon, you can still feel the ghost of a burnt shrimp paella lingering in the air, and a reminder of the time a simple promotion turned a peaceful office into a war zone. I'm Kalen. Good night. And please, for the love of everything holy, don't microwave fish. Sleep well.